Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Friday and welcome to Wicca 202. We are talking about purification today. Imbolc is almost upon us, and since Yule, the energies around us have been absolutely ideal for us to undergo a period of purification. But what does that mean in a spiritual practice? Because it's all very well to give lip service to a concept or to vaguely talk about the value of cleansings and meditation, but I think we sell ourselves short by not going deeper and by not taking a holistic approach to the concept. If you also happen to follow my Pagan Housewives series, you'll know that I emphasize the small magic of everyday life, the value of building up good energies, especially over a period of time, and that all things have both a material and a magical nature, and that it's only by taking both into account as a whole that we create real success for ourselves. If we focus on the spiritual at the expense of the practical concerns, or vice versa, our efforts in the pursuit of purification are going to fall flat. And why put in a half-hearted effort and get limited results when being thorough benefits us so much more? In my mind, Imbolc is the waking up point. The past month was about the dream of the coming year, brainstorming and contemplation, but Imbolc, that is the point at which the doing truly begins. The only question is, what kind of start are we giving ourselves? So, we're going to address this by category, and I will begin with our homes. There are different ideas about when one should conduct the annual spring cleaning, and oftentimes it depends upon when we have the time to do it, but this is a cleaning that has three phases: organization, cleaning, and then cleansing. It's a good idea to have a bit of a clearing out at least annually. I doubt that anyone watching this video lives in a mansion. I know I don't. So we do need to prioritize what we allow to have space in our homes. It should be things that are useful or beautiful to our eyes, and preferably both where possible. And by removing unneeded or unwanted items from our space, we are removing stagnant energy. It lightens the atmosphere. We feel better. Next on the agenda is a good, thorough cleaning, including tasks that we ordinarily don't make time for in our weekly routines. There is something very calming in the knowledge that the home is not only orderly, but that it's clean, and there's no secret, shameful area that we would feel kind of bad about if someone from outside the household happened to see it. And there's great scope for the use of magic in our cleaning, from visualizing intentions to rid ourselves of unwanted energies, to infusing our spaces with wanted energy via, for one example, the scent of the cleaning products we use, and even blessing the tools that we use for this work. And then there's the spiritual aspect, the re-blessing of the home, setting fresh home protections, dedicating a particular space to serve as the spiritual center of the home, and letting go of any of the normal frustrations that go along with daily life. Next category I want to draw attention to is our professions. And this is a tricky one because sometimes, we're working a job. It's just a job. It's a means to an end to get a paycheck so that we can support ourselves and our families. So the idea of purification related to your daily work may seem a bit odd or maybe out of reach. But whether we like our jobs or we detest them, I think it's worth examining if we have done what we can to minimize the frustrations that go along with the job, or do we have an effective way of handling those stresses? Just because we probably can't completely dictate our working conditions or what is required of us, it is still within our power to not make things worse than what they already are. And the question is how, and meditating upon those hows can be fruitful. Another thing to consider is whether or not it's time to make a move where our work is concerned. Now, bear in mind, I am not suggesting doing anything rash or reckless. Don't make a major change without thinking the matter through. That being said, if you are in a line of work that has crossed the lines from being a means to support your life to where it has taken over your life and it's getting in the way of your goals, or worse, your marriage and family life, then it's time to consider making a change. Because even the most fulfilling jobs that really make good use of your talents, they're not going to be there during the hard times of life. They're not going to be holding your hand at your deathbed. But if you nurture your relationships, there will be someone there holding your hand, someone who does care about you. So regarding whether you love or you hate your job, I think there's a pretty strong case about the need to keep a sense of proportion about its importance. Also, it's probably prudent to meditate more often especially if you find your job particularly stressful. Don't let that energy settle into your system any more than you can prevent. So next category are relationships. We know there are people who do belong in our lives, and then there are those who have proven themselves to be a destructive force. Now, whether or not someone who's more in the destructive force category, whether or not that can be changed, it requires both parties to alter that dynamic. And if only one person is willing to bridge the gap, then that gap is going to remain unbridged. It takes two. Therefore, sometimes our best and only option is just let people go. And this doesn't have to be an angry or an intensely emotional process. It can happen gradually. And sometimes the only thing required is that you just stop chasing after the attention of people who are dragging down your spirit. Because the more our circle around us is filled with people who genuinely care about us and who we genuinely care about, the better off we are. It gives a sense of lightness, and we may wonder why we didn't keep a better eye on the company we kept before. Next category, our gods. Are our relationships with our deities in right order? Is there something we've been asked to do that we've put off? And are we ready to go ahead and do what we need to do? And as we learn to become cooperative and to take more of a long-term view of the nudges we get from our gods, we're also going to be refining our characters. Oftentimes, if we're given something to work on, one of the end results of that is that we come out of the process a better person. And that means giving up some behaviors that create problems in our lives and making conscious choices to lean into traits and conduct that is beneficial. Are we showing our gods gratitude? We're not required to fawn over them like sycophants, but that doesn't mean that we don't owe them a healthy respect and to be thankful for the fact that they are playing a role in our lives. And also, to take a broader view, do we remind ourselves to be appreciative of our God's roles and maintaining the natural order? Are we looking for the lessons of each season? Do we enjoy the delights, and are we learning from the challenges? Do we embrace this process, or do we resent it? Now, last category is that of our well-being, and this has to be the hardest aspect of purification because it requires a self-honesty that's simply acknowledging the reality of who you are and what you do without flattery and without condemnation, a simple recognition of what is. It's a vulnerable place to be, and it's no wonder so many people shy away from even attempting this. Because once you see the dispassionate truth about yourself, you also begin to see the thoughts, emotions, words, and behaviors that have created it. And that's where the hard work really begins, because what do you do about it? You will find things you like and things you dislike, and whether you're wanting to correct something about yourself or to reinforce something, it's going to involve consistent effort. Now, there's a proverb that says, we are what we repeatedly do. So what are we repeatedly doing? And is that healthy for us? And don't be afraid of the answer. Don't be afraid of yourself. You have more agency over yourself than anyone else or anything else in existence. And for witches and wizards, what is called the great work is this process of self-transformation. This is the most potent magic we possess, and all else flows from the results of that transformation. Now, if all of this sounds intense and all-consuming, that's because it is. But this is the right time of year to begin working through these things. And there's a reason why purification of this kind is more of an annual event rather than a daily event. And it's something that we have a particular time of year that we give special attention to it. We just cannot give the amount of energy into this task all the freaking time. I mean, the same way we don't have a complete cleaning out of the closet on a weekly basis. If someone out there is doing that, you're unhealthy and you need to have more reasonable standards. But when the season for this kind of work does come, that's where we can and do make that commitment. And the benefit of this is gaining a sense of calm and peace and the ability to move forward than with less baggage slowing you down. And I want to be sure that the reward for this work is at the forefront of people's minds, because that helps tremendously with our follow through. I mean, no one wants to do purification work for no good reason. It's just too soul shaking. So we do need to remind ourselves of why we are doing this and why it's a good thing. And you are equal to this task. You will feel better and stronger and clearer after you take this on. And don't be afraid. And don't forget that you have resources to help you. Blackbird's Brew Ungilded has a variety of witches who will understand what you're going through, and you can lean on our experience to get more ideas about how to go about this kind of work and how to cope with the rough bits that go along with it. So that being said, it's time for our homework for January 27th through February 3rd. Number 1, give your altar a complete overhaul. Take it all down, clean everything thoroughly, and make thoughtful decisions about what has earned its place back onto the altar. Make it fresh. Number 2, if you haven't been doing chakra meditations as of yet, now is the time to start. It does a marvelous job of cleaning out your energy system, and that keeps your energy flowing. And that helps you feel more able to carry on with other aspects of purification. And 3, journal. Let whatever is in your system flow onto the page. Don't judge it. Don't worry about whether or not you're expressing it well. Just get it out. Let the pages absorb what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and observe how much of a difference that can actually make to your overall sense of well-being. So that's what I have for you this week. February, we are going to be moving on to another set of issues, so definitely come back for that. Comments, questions, concern, leave those for me in the comment section below this video, or come see me on Gilded. The link to Blackbird's Brew is in the description box below. You're very welcome there, and I'd be happy to assist you. But that'll do it for this week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.